Welcome back to another episode of DB Sports with myself, Joel. We're having another episode for NFL. We were gonna talk about Week 8 of NFL. We're gonna recap Week 8, talk a little bit. It was a very interesting week of football. We'll start off first with the Vikings versus the Rams, where they fully screwed. I'm not gonna say fully screwed over the Vikings because that was a face mask and should have been a flag right there. Not that the Vikings would have scored, but there should have been a flag in that. They should have continued driving. Even the defender knew he fucked up, but the referee didn't call it. But let's break it down. It was the 5-1 Minnesota Vikings versus the 2-4 Los Angeles Rams. Los Angeles winning 30-20, with Sam Darnold throwing 18 for 25, 240 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Matthew Stafford throwing for 25 for 34, 279 yards, passing, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Really good game for a Thursday night, kicking off the week. But yeah, it should have been Minnesota at least continuing the chance to do it. Minnesota looks like a decent, good little team right there. We'll see how it goes. It's still the quarterback that we're gonna probably have the most question on because he's never really shown it. But the team looks good. I think they just probably had a better quarterback they could trust. That could be a very dangerous team, especially this year. But Rams move on. We had the Dallas Cowboys versus San Francisco 49ers. The 3-3 Dallas Cowboys versus the 3-4 San Francisco 49ers. 49ers winning 30-24, close game. That's Dak Prescott throwing for 25 for 38, 243 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Brock Purdy, 18 for 26, 260 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. This was probably one of the more talked about games of the week because it was a winter break for the Niners and the Cowboys. Pretty much whoever wins has still hope for the year. Whoever loses is pretty much done for the year, for the most part. But I just think both these teams are two struggling teams. I don't think both these teams are going to do very much. Even though I'm a Niner fan, I am a Niner fan. But I just think that it's two teams who it's just not their year. Cowboys who didn't really do much off season to make the team better. They just kind of kept the same people. Coaching is not doing very good. When you look at the Niners, it's a whole lot of injuries this year for whatever reason. We just keep getting injured. But Niners win. They continue on and still have hope where the Cowboys look like their season's pretty much done already. Look like it's pretty much done. I think slowly we will start noticing the teams that will start falling off and knowing their season's done to the teams who still have a little hope and will still battle. We had the New York Jets versus the New England Patriots. New England Patriots winning 25-22. This was another make or break game for another team, the New York Jets, because the Jets were the most talked about team this year, probably most likely. Especially with Aaron Rodgers, a lot of the antics that he's been doing this year, not really showing up to training camp because he was over there in other countries, especially for the mandatory ones. He got the coach fired because he wanted to run things. Now they traded for Adams because that's one of his best receivers he ever had and is one of his good buddies. And that would fix hope and everything. And just for them to lose 22-25 to the New England Patriots, which are not a good team. It's not like they lost to a good team. It's one of the worst teams there. They're not a very good team. New England Patriots this year because it still has a lot of the same staff when Bill Belichick had them last year, which they did a lot better defensively. This year they're not doing that good compared to last year. So the Jets, their season's done. Now their record being 2-6 now. No, they're done. There's not much you could do. The only thing you could do is they can't do no error. From here on, if they make any mistakes, it really is done. It's probably one of the biggest bumbles of New York Jets history. Truthfully, they got all their hope up for nothing. But Aaron Rodgers went 17 for 28, 233 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Berkeley, 25 for 24, 132 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Their season didn't look very good. Jets are just going to be probably some mediocre team. I don't know if they're going to keep Aaron Rodgers next year, but we will see. We had the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Cincinnati Bengals. The Philadelphia Eagles winning 37-17 over the Cincinnati Bengals. I think this was another game right here where Cincinnati needed to win. Both teams, truthfully, I think needed to win because I think the Eagles needed to win because to keep up with the Washington Commanders and to create more space against the Cowboys so they could keep up for the division. And Cincinnati needed to win just for their playoff hopes. So once again, they're not one of the teams like the Cowboys, like the Jets, that just lived in. If they lose, their season's over. Still continue having hope. But Philadelphia winning 37-17. Jalen Hurts, 16 for 20, 236 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He ran in 3 touchdowns. Joe Burrow, 26 for 37, 234 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I know a lot of people were very high on Cincinnati this year, especially since Joe's coming back. They haven't looked like they're very much a team this year. They need a lot of help, especially the offensive help. They don't have no type of offensive line, but they always got next year to come back and work. Philadelphia Eagles still look like a little potent team, especially when they get goal line, a little short yardage, that little push play. They do very well. We had the Green Bay Packers versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Green Bay Packers winning 30-27. We had Jordan Love 14 for 22, 196 yards passing, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Trey Lance 21 for 32, 308 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So Green Bay winning. Green Bay continue looking good. They have to continue winning because they have to keep up with the Minnesota Vikings, who are leading the. No, it's actually probably the Detroit Lions. That's a very hard division right there. But they have to keep going. Jacksonville Jaguars look like they were supposed to, especially with the Cincinnati Bengals, who look like they were supposed to be those teams that are going to be good this year. From they were good last year, they're just probably going to miss the playoffs. No, they're going to miss the playoffs. And so every year when you see those brand new teams that make it and other teams who made it from the year before don't make it, you're starting to notice it. We had the Tennessee Titans versus Detroit Lions. Tennessee Titans are 22 for 38, 266 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Jared Goff, 12 for 15. This is crazy stat. 85 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He didn't make 100 yards. He didn't even throw for 100 yards. Minnesota, the Detroit Lions winning 52-14. They just continue scoring. They're an overall really good team. Most likely still pissed off that the Niners beat them last year. And they want to prove a point this year. You could argue they're probably the best team in the NFC right now. I still don't know if I trust their coach, truthfully, because he takes chances, a lot of chances, and when you take a lot of chances, it could be hit and miss. So I don't know if I could trust him. We had the Atlanta Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Bucks. Atlanta winning 31-16. Kirk Cousins throwing for 23 for 29. 276 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Baker Mayfield, 37 for 50, 330 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. I want to see Kirk Cousins proved me wrong. I didn't think he was going to do good, especially coming off a torn ACL. I didn't think he was going to come back and look good, especially with the Atlanta Falcons team. They looked not that bad. They're better than the Cowboys, better than the Jets. So he proved me wrong. But I still think they're going to be one of those mediocre teams. Probably not going to do nothing. Mid-level teams. We had the Arizona Cardinals versus the Miami Dolphins with Tua coming back as a concussion after his 15th concussion. Kyler Murray, 26 for 36, 307 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Tua, 28 for 38, 234 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. With Arizona winning 28-27. Good game. Arizona look like they might maybe sneak in, maybe. And Miami Dolphins, I just don't think they're doing this yet. I think especially with Tua being hurt, who got hurt, he missed a couple games. I just don't think the Miami Dolphins will do anything either. We had the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. I predicted this could be a sneaky upset winner here. Baltimore losing the Cleveland Browns 29-24. Lamar Jackson, 23 for 38, 289 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. James Watson, 27 for 41, 334 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I said this would be a sneaky team. They didn't want their quarterback there since he, I believe, tore his ACL. They didn't like him. They weren't playing for him. See that when they switched the quarterback, they started to play better. That just shows you. Baltimore losing when they didn't. That was a game they didn't really need to lose. Okay. We had the Indianapolis Colts versus the Houston Texans. Texans winning 23-20. Anthony Richardson, 10 for 32, 175 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. CJ Stroud, 25 for 37, 285 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Texans continue rolling. They're looking good. Look a very good team. I know Diggs got hurt, so that worries me because he's a really good weapon for them. But we'll see how this season continues. New Orleans Saints versus the Los Angeles Chargers. With Spencer Rattler throwing for 12 for 24, 156 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Jason Hurts, 20 for 32, 279 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Saints look like they're going to be a good team coming up. Starting off really strong, and then she just fully crashed down, especially at the car. Hurt. Chargers are looking not that bad. They just look like they're hanging in, being 4-3 at the current moment. So they actually don't look that bad. But, it's a long season. Let's see how it continues going. We had the Buffalo Bills versus the Seattle Seahawks. Buffalo Bills winning 31-10 in Seattle. Josh Allen, 24 for 34, 283 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Geno Smith, 21 for 29, 212 yards passing, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Buffalo Bills look like one of the good teams. Like they're going to be back there again. I had a lot of worries for Josh Allen this year because he lost Diggs and didn't look like he had the greatest receiving core. So it was really going to be him having to do a prove-it year. But, he shut me up. He's looking good. Buffalo Bills looking good. We're about to hit mid-level of the season. So, second half of the season, let's really see how the Buffalo Bills doing. A lot of these teams, truthfully. We had the Chicago Bears versus the Washington Commanders. Washington Commanders winning 18-15. Caleb Williams, 10 for 24, 131 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Daniels, 21 for 38, 326 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. That was such a good, entertaining game. Pretty much just talked about rookies, quarterbacks coming out this year and playing. And it came down to a Hail Mary, which the Chicago Bears coach just fully felt that. All the players out there felt it. And Washington getting the win, not becoming 6-2. We're leading that division. We had Carolina Panthers versus the Denver Broncos. Broncos winning 28-14. Bryce Young, 24 for 37, 224 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Bo Nix, 28 for 34, 284 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Denver Broncos continue winning. Carolina Panthers continue looking horrible. Not much to talk about that one. We had the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Kansas City Chiefs winning 27-20. Patrick Mahomes, 27 for 38, 262 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. He continues throwing interceptions. 24 for 30, 209 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. No interceptions with Kansas City winning. Kansas City continue rolling. Las Vegas continued looking like Las Vegas. Who knows? I think Las Vegas is going to be one of those teams that start trading away some players. And then we had the Monday night game. The Pittsburgh Steelers versus the New York Giants. Pittsburgh Steelers winning 26-18. Daniel Jones, 24 for 38, 264 yards passing, no touchdowns, 1 interception. Russell Wilson, 20 for 28, 278 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. Russell Wilson looking like a very good quarterback this year. I thought he was washed. For the first 2 games, he's looking pretty good. Steelers look pretty good with him. Look like they might be even better than Cousins. So we'll see how this year continues going. Thank you guys very much for the subscribes, all the likes, all the views, support you guys have been doing. Thank you guys. We will do another videos, do my picks for the week. And thank you guys.